two-day international conference on emerging vistas in English language and literature. First, I thank the God Almighty for providing us the favorable circumstance to organize such an event. Now I invite our Vice Chancellor, Dr. P. Vinachary, for being the catalyst and standing as the pillars of strength. I also invite our beloved registrar, Dr. S. Ravi, and our Dean, Dr. N. V. Balaji, who values every minute and gives wonderful innovative ideas for the welfare of the students. The most important backbone is our R&D Dean, Dr. R. Parvasari, one who constantly encourages the students and teachers to bring the best out of them. I welcome you, sir. I welcome our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Delio, who has been serving the student community for the past years. On behalf of Katom Academy of Higher Education, I welcome you, sir. I extend my warm greetings to the faculty members, research scholars, and students from various institutions who have keen interest in research. Once again, I welcome you all for two-day international conference on emerging vistas in English language and literature.
Thank you, sir. Great literature is simply language. Great literature is simply language charged with meaning to the utmost possibility. I would like to call our respected Dr. D. Solomon Corner, Assistant Professor of English, Karpana Academy of Higher Education, to describe the significance of conference.
I deem it my great honor to introduce the theme of the international conference to this learned gathering. Ever since the birth of digital technologies, our world faces a sea of changes in its dimension. Most importantly, the education sector faces new challenges and are expected to heighten its standard according to the global needs. English, being the universal language, has risen up to the needs of this technological and multicultural world. Apart from the learning the structure of history of the language, we are summoned to personalize the English language according to the cultural and social dimensions. The English language and literature is celebrated by the people of different countries and cultures because it is a pivotal tool to record their history and make the world turn around the problems that are hushed for ages. Mastering English language helps the underprivileged and authorized section of the society to loudly talk about their problems, which the privileged were denied to listen. This conference chiefly aims to promote the streams of newly added literary genres and topics along with traditional ones. The event focus to throw the light upon the emerging trends which include the disability literature, neo-humanism, energy, medical humanities, where and many more. The incursion of the multidimensional perspectives in literary works makes the job of a reader more difficult. The literary, the traditional literary approaches and the theories are no more justifiable. For the complex literature we are currently needing. It's the right time for the academic forums to discuss the innovative ways of interpreting new language theories and new literature devices, and the researchers should come up with innovative practices in learning and researching the contemporary trends in language and literature. With this great vision, here we have gathered as curious intellectuals in search of modern trends in English language and literature. Kagi, Katham Academy of Higher Education takes immense pleasure in creating the wonderful platform for the students, the researchers, and the faculties from all over the world to explore the new avenues. We hope this event assuredly will widen your insights and enlarge their horizons of interpreting and comprehending language and literature. We wish you all a fruitful stay and happy learning in our campus. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mastering others is a skill. Mastering yourself is a true path. Now I invite Dr. R. Parthasarathi, Dean of International Relations and Research and Industrial Relations, Kalpam Academy of Higher Education, to deliver the presidential address.
Chief guest of today's function, Dr. Denilo from the University of Immaculate Conception, and the Department of English, organizers of this event, participants from other institutions as well as Kaplan Academy, and my dear students. I'm really happy and privileged to share this dais on this auspicious day of conducting this wonderful conference on emerging vistas on literature particularly. It is also very happy that Dr. Danilo has come all the way for the first time to India. Welcome Danilo for having come and having witnessed this conference. And Dr. Danilo is the program chair in the University of Immaculate Conception, and he is under his headship offering three different programs, including literature and information technology. I also would like to congratulate your HOD for having taken this initiative of conducting an international conference, which is truly an international conference having the contribution across the globe. I heard that articles have come from various countries, including Russia, Philippines, and other part of the world. I expect that this conference be very much useful for all the scholars, for the students. Kindly be attentive and listen to the conference, the articles that are being presented and shared in this forum, and try to make use of such opportunities for the betterment of your career. On this occasion, I also would like to request the chief guest of today's function, Dr. Danilo, to extend his support to our university, maybe conducting classes, if not physically, virtually, and course can be customized. And we are also happy to send the students from academic education to semester. The same way, we also would like to invite students from Philippines, Immaculate Conception. They can come over here, they can stay here at least for a semester. And we will be offering various courses, different kinds of courses, particularly on literature from and this tireless efforts due to various reasons has been undergone by our HOD as well as Solomon to make this conference a reality. I also would like to appreciate Solomon for having taken this initiative. This should be an yearly edition. Let this be a first edition. I wanted to have this conference as continuous yearly event. Every year we would like to have more and more number of participants, more and more number of speakers from different countries, and highly thought-provoking sessions are to be happen. And this can lead way to various innovations and coming out with articles for publication. So with this team note, let me once again congratulate your department and the best wishes for all the participants of this conference and wishing you a very great success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. B. Rosemary, Assistant Professor of English, Kaplan Academy of Higher Education, to introduce the chief guest. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing and learning. A very good morning to one of our present here. I take great pleasure to introduce our today's chief guest, Dr. Danilo G. Berardino, who is the dynamic and results-oriented language, literature, communication, and philosophy teacher committed in inculcating a passion for learning, creating multicultural awareness through teaching the fundamentals of the English language. He is blessed with a strong talent to develop creative activities that reaches every student's learning style and ability, empowering students to succeed and realize their individual goals. He is such a trustworthy and approachable individual with excellent communication to cooperatively work with parents and faculty to and membership in prestigious associations. He is a member of Philippines Association of Language Teaching, Quezon, Philippines, and advisor in Green Club, which is recognized club of Mount Carmel College of St. Francisco, Augustine del Sur, and editor-in-chief in Views Chapters Test. It is an official publication of the Society of Divine Locations. He has been a coordinator of language, literature, and communication arts University of Immaculate Conception and thesis mentor at Ateneo de Davao University. He is a well-known speaker and a language trainer. The Department of English, Katpatam Academy of Higher Education, is proud to have such a versatile personality with us today. On this special occasion, with much enthusiasm, the Department of English and the institution wholeheartedly welcome the Chief Guest. We welcome you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. The title reads the abstract book of our international conference on emerging Vistas in English language and literature. Literature is the most agreeable way of ignoring life. May I now welcome our chief guest, Dr. Danilo G. Valadio, University of Immaculate Conception, Philippines, to deliver the keynote address.
Good, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming over. And it's a pleasure to be able to see everyone participating this international conference that is organized by, of course, the Department of English. We are in the world where we can look into various factors to consider various factors to consider. And there are many ways to be able to uh, move forward with what we have to endeavor every day. And in so many ways, we can also look for many different, let's say, sense. We still have the courage to be continue what we are doing or what we love doing. Our challenge today, right? Our challenge today is, of course, how are we able to stand in the midst of all these possibilities, in the midst of all these opportunities? What role are we playing so we can still be relevant? When I say relevant, because we still matter, we still have that voice because of these opportunities, we can always find our way in. The emerging vistas in English language and literature is just one of the many and many various opportunities where we can find our voices or our person. There are, as I said, many ways to do that. When we say emerging business, these are all things that we are supposed to currently look into ourselves and consider how much we participate in. Participation is being called upon us so that this particular endeavor that we have would call upon how we would want to see ourselves for this matter. The emerging business in English language and literature. What I'm going to share with you this morning is for our facts to consider what are these different vistas in English language and literature, challenges, what are the challenges that we face today, and how do we try to address particular challenges. What I'm talking about is that we are here to be informed about these different vistas in English language and literature particularly. If I might have to begin telling you what are these, there could be a lot more that we can talk about, but with the interest of time, I'm only giving you a few of these particular new vistas or emerging vistas in English language and literature. And perhaps in the long run, we'll be able to find ways how to answer to these different emerging vistas and how do we try to deal with them and to deal with them. In English language and in literature, when you combine that together, there is a great blend of that. What am I saying? Because if we have just learned English in a separate way, in a separate way also literature, that would be good. But when we have to place them together, there is a great vast opportunity to be able to create some sort of new knowledge, new contribution to the body of knowledge. What am I saying about? That this kind of work, this kind of vision, to be able to see point of entry from English language to that of literature, great opportunities can be created. Although we can, right? Although we can look into English language alone and literature alone, but again, there is much more when we put them together. But what I'll be sharing at the moment are the different vistas or emerging vistas. Thank you very much. Okay, so again, what I'd like to share with you today are different already together English language and literature. Now, as I was saying a while ago, we can put that together. All right, we can probably put them separately, but again, it's the best thing if we put them together. All right, what's on the slide here? Next slide. There are several emerging business in the field of English and literature. What we have, number one is the next slide. All right, we have digital humanities. We have global literature, environmental humanities. Okay, there are more others to come. I'd like to deal with first with the digital humanities. What is digital humanities all about? As I was saying, these are just few of the many the resources I have read would tell us all these about. Now, in the digital humanities, this is a new field that integrates technology with established humanities studies. Digital humanities in English language and literature entail the use of computational technology to examine text and investigate linguistic usage. You see, the reason why we be able to join together English language and literature is a great, massive opportunity to be able to get into what we wanted to develop in our study or in our research. Later on, I'll be showing you examples because in our university, I've been teaching them sentiment analysis through the use of a software. It's a software that would analyze text on the sentiment of people through the writing. So you're going to gather all these writings and put them together, label them, put that in a software. And the software, by manipulation, will be able to deliver or to give you results as to how the people feel about an issue. Now, if you would want that the entire, for example, if the entire college or entire community, if you wanted to know how they feel about such thing, we can go over the write-ups. But it's very tasking to be able to read all these one by one, and it would take much, much time. With the help of technology, with the help of digital humanities, as we say, this is very much easy already. When I say easy, because you just have to put that in a software. Software is going to give you the answer as to how people are feeling about something, like an issue or what. Okay, so this is what we call a new field. Although there has already been a lot of these going on, but if we're trying to give ourselves a chance to be able to have this English language and literature go together and look into applying this wisdom and digital humanity, we'd be able to produce something very, very good. What are we able to produce? We're producing something that is really equivalent to the real human situation or experiences. What am I trying to say? I'm saying that we are confronted with different situations nowadays in the society. And if you wanted to know how people in general would feel about that, then the right way to be able to answer that and give the right impression is to employ that certain, certain activity on the sentiment analysis. So we are analyzing here sentiments of people through the write-ups. So from there, we would see how do we deal with people on this matter. What's global crisis nowadays? We have a lot of things to point out. We can see things, we can hear things, we can observe things around us. But how do we try to analyze them? How do we try to give ourselves a chance to be able to understand the situation? Is what we are going to do scientific way of analyzing it. And the moment we do that, there's of course a very great opportunity for us to deliver that kind of contribution to the body. The sentiment analysis that is part of the digital humanities. Even like, for example, if you're gonna ask students to write some sort of poem or some sort of poetry about something, and you try to analyze all these poetries as to how they feel about that particular issue. And you would know that these sentiments are very much available because of these um, digital humanity. Okay, right? So that is how we call, that's the situation of digital humanities today. Right? So we are able to find ways so that in much cases we have a contribution as somebody who is part of the society. And that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. And that's how we wanted. That we're able to contribute something to our society. As individuals, as part of the society, we would wish to contribute that. Contributions come along with publication and so on and so forth. But how do you do that? Now we have to be more secure about what we're doing because digital humanities, as new emerging Vista in English language and literature, would provide us an answer and opportunity to be able to do that. Okay? But later on, I'm going to show you examples of studies, title of studies, and their research questions, so that you have an idea of how this sentiment analysis could be very much possible in our researches, in your researches, or in our own personal experience. The next one is the global literature. Now, there has been an increase in interest in literature from other places and culture as a result of globalization and the world's expanding interconnection. The programs in English language and literature are widening their selections to include works from various cultures. Now, in understanding literature, it is not only that we study our own literature, but we also consider other cultural studies, literature, so we can also compare and see possible ways of having this interconnectedness. The word is interconnectedness. We cannot just live, I mean, the very, very famous saying that no man is an island would really very much apply to that. In as much as we would want to connect to other people, that's whether it's global and future. And this is something that we have to embrace. This is something that we have to look into because without that, certain possibilities may not be offered to the world as contribution to the knowledge. So the reason why we're doing some things on global literature is for us to be able to connect. Again, the word here is interconnected. The next one is environmental humanities. That's parallel to what we call digital humanities. Now, this interdisciplinary field investigates how people and the environment interact. This involves investigating the language and the recovery of environmental discourse, in addition to researching literary texts that deal with environmental concerns in English language and literature. Very easily understood as this one. If we are supposed to be able to embrace environmental literature, we're able to investigate texts that is English language. Because investigating texts would also lead to how environment would be understood in such a way. Historically, we need to be able to find what? Some sort of very first hand written literature, and by analyzing this text, the text structure, will be brought back to the time when it started. And from there, we would see how much it causes something for the environment, something for the community. And that we would also have to respect. Looking into the interconnectedness with our global literature, the environmental humanities will also bring us together that such particular texts, the kind of text that we are looking for, is taken place right on in that particular field or particular place. So in some sense, we are talking or we are saying that our way of looking at and, and analyzing text in an environmental humanities context, we are given privilege to understand the context in itself. All right? Can I have the next slide? All right. We also have post-colonial studies, and that's critical theory. This field on post-colonial studies is concerned with the effects of colonialism and imperialism. Okay, imperialism on literature and English language. So in English language and literature post-colonial studies, examine how authors from formerly colonized nations from the word post-colonialism, right? From the word post-colonialism, we are supposed to be able to see we're supposed to be able to see the reason why there were many of those that were colonized. Why were they colonized? And the reason to which they were colonized would also be our reason to consider how they would be understood in some ways on that particular year or particular era. What becomes an English? Because now we are in the internationalization context. That means we would want to understand contexts that are not from our own. And so considering theirs would be a great advantage for everyone to see how much we can connect and relate to this. The reason why we have the critical race, so this theoretical framework is a framework which we will be told that the connections between racial power and the structures in the social, cultural, and political. So this kind of field in English language could have been given more emphasis today because we see that the race of power is imminent. This cannot be eradicated. The reason why we are looking into that is because we also would want to understand how much of this influence will particularly run places. And this is where we see that the point of our investigation in the field of English language and literature will help everyone else understand. So the reason why we look into that is we would want to understand what we there. Okay, next slide. Global and unglobal and the cognitive poetics. I think it's the last two that we can actually look into for these emerging vistas in language and literature. What are these all about? If you notice the global unglobal and cognitive poetics, they're mostly on how literary structures can be analyzed in as much as it portrays something on their own personal belief or something that reflects what is within the context of globalization. Okay? We are moving forward, we're not lagging behind, we're not moving back. We're moving forward and moving forward, embracing this particular business in emerging business in English language and literature. Again, I was saying about this we could not stop. We are moving forward because this is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to look into. Moving forward is when we embrace this particular. However, the context of which, okay, the context of which we are in this situation, there are many different ways to be able to overcome them. And there are different challenges. Right? There are different challenges that we can look into. What are the different challenges, by the way, of these emerging business in English language and literature? When we say challenges, we are confronted with some sort of a problem, I would say, to be able to go on with our quest to contribute on new knowledge to the body. So what are these challenges? Next slide. This one, okay, this one are examples of the digital humanities I was talking about, the sentiment analysis. Remember? So this one is an example of the many opportunities that we can look into. For example, consumer satisfaction and online shopping sentiment analysis is a title of a study. Title of a study that would provide us good opportunity to see whether or not our consumers online buying, do you buy online? Sometimes people will buy online. And they will say consumers satisfaction. So how are they? Are their satisfactions positive, negative? So how do you do that? You cannot just ask anybody and everyone else who's buying online, but you probably would have these comments in the internet or online and gather them together, analyze the text, so that we able to look into how are they satisfied with their services. Right? So this is what I say. We are contributing new knowledge, new knowledge to the world. In as much as there are very pressing problems in the society, that's where we place our area. So we do sentiment analysis for that. Sentiment analysis is new because it's our part of data analytics, which is also within the structure of corpus studies. When we say corpus studies, these are actually making use of words to describe something, and then we result to something bigger than we expect. Or another one is the story fuel crisis, sentiments of Filipinos and anxiety. Meaning, in the context of the Philippines, if there is soaring high prices, how do the people react to that? Generally, we say they're not important. But if we're going to analyze that deeply, what makes it something like more of hustle, this particular digital humanities context of merging business and language literature would help us analyze that one. Or other way, based threatening acts of Filipino netizens, similar analysis of the These again are examples of the many things that we can look into in a societal level. Again, we would want to contribute something to society. How do we do that? Let's start to make use of these particular use cases in language research. Much more, we are told that this kind of things would contribute to uh, to information on weaknesses. Okay, can I have the next? Okay, these are just examples. We just probably go over those things. I believe the topics are powerful to move forward, please. I'd like to proceed to the challenges that we face with these emerging business in English language and literature. More, please. More. More. Right. These are challenges. These are challenges. The challenge number one is this one. All right. Keeping up with emerging technologies. This is a challenge for everyone. Now, back in my country, there are also other those people who may be challenged by technology, who may be challenged by technology, but because we are young, we cannot be challenged by technology. So that means we have to be a friend of technology. So in analysis of language and literature, technology is right in there. The modern software I was talking about in the field of sentence analysis might be a very good contribution to analyzing texts in the field of structure and in the field of literature. You can marry that together, you can put that together. So the challenge now for some others are this one, keeping up with word. Keeping up means we do not give ourselves, we do not lag behind on these technologies. There are a lot of new technologies today that we can make use. So we are able to see how far we can go with these kind of technology. This one is including digital media, internet publishing, and social networking. These are the growing things in line with English language and literature now. If we are not aware that there are a lot already of technologies as regards this, then it's time to update ourselves to be able to see how much we can do. Right? It's the first challenge. Number two, or the second one, issues on diversity and inclusion. It's a very, very problematic nowadays to be able to address this issue because there is a growing need to address diversity and inclusion in the study of English language. Remember, because when we're talking about inclusion and diversity, I'm talking about, for example, if I am having this kind of language, I study just my language. But there is diversity all along. How do we try to see that these are very good opportunities to see whether or not we are able to relate with each other? So that the diversity that we're talking about here and the inclusion that we're talking about here simply leads us to see greater things to study other languages. That's why some of the schools are offering languages because they would see how much of these would bring them far, far with opportunities. Okay, so sometimes we are so much afraid about doing or addressing diversity. So let's not be somebody who's fearful of inclusion and diversity. The third is navigating globalization. Okay, this is a challenge as we are confronted with emerging. We navigate this globalization. In the face of education, in the face of research, there has to be some sort of an ingredient of globalization. And I say ingredient because this has to come along together with these particular areas, especially on English language and literature. English language, English language and literature are becoming more global as a result of rising interest in international literatures and the spread of English as your language. As a result, opportunities and challenges present themselves, including the requirement to negotiate cultural differences and avoid culture. That particularly me. So in the field of English language and literature, we just do not want to consider other things to penetrate us. In as much as we love our country, that's good. But in the field of globalization, we open our possibilities. We open everything to very good possibilities of becoming more relatable, becoming more relevant to the world. Because if we do not give ourselves to open, then we cannot be more relevant and we could not give more attention to what's ever happening right now in the world. So if we are closing our doors, we're closing something, or we just open, like, where's the inclusion part? We would not be able to see how big the world is. We would not be able to see how much we can enjoy about it. So the way to be able to do globalization. This is something that we have to really understand. The next one is changing student needs and expectations. Adapting, changing student needs and expectations. Our students today, they have different way of needing something for their education lives. And how do we try to address that? Sometimes because we're so engrossed with the past, and we are not accepting new technology, new possibilities today. And that's not what our students need. We have to listen to these needs so we can address them. So listening properly to these needs will give us a way to be able to address these current problems that they will have to face or they will have to go through. Now, in as much as we are also going to consider the changing student needs, what changing student needs? Because our students would be also adapting to what's happening in the world. So if this is happening to the world, they needed something more from the very useful they need. But if we cannot see that, we would not be able to see that this would be helping our students. Our very reason why we think students and we teach students because we wanted to learn and we wanted to address the needs. Addressing the needs would be listening to them because these changing needs of students will also be our way of changing our ways to see how students would want something for them. Okay, so I think that's one thing that we're trying to forget. We're trying to neglect or set aside. In much cases, we see that in our classroom particularly, we have these particular needs because the world is moving, the world is revolving. In this case, the needs of the students also do. And some sort we have to cooperate with that. We have to cope with that. In some sort. And the next one is balancing, correct? Balancing traditional and emerging technologies or approaches. We don't see, I'm not saying that we neglect the traditional. We have to balance that. What is it balancing it is when we have everything in control. We have this, if this is A and if this is B, this has to go together, not one the other is higher or the other is lower. It goes together because we want that. Why are we trying to aim for that? Because remember, if we do not adopt ourselves to the new technologies, we're left behind. And being left behind is something that is very much getting left. If we go together, everybody goes together, and that's more fun when everybody goes. Right? That's balancing traditional and emerging approaches. All right. Now, we have next one. Like we have the challenges, right? If we have these challenges, how do we try to address these challenges? How do we try to address these challenges? So giving us these challenges, we're trying to respond to these challenges. Right? From the response to the challenges, we have number one, embrace new technology. Right? So if we are challenged by these emerging technologies, we have to embrace that. Embracing means we have to learn to unlearn what we've learned, and you learn new things. Okay? Unlearn to learn new things. This is when we try to embrace new technologies. What are the new technologies today? We have a lot. Right? In the field of research, we have a lot. In the field of softwares, we have a lot. Analyzing semantic analysis or analyzing qualitative data is very much ahead. So when we try to embrace this new technology, life could be very easier. Life could not be that complicated.
But of course, we have to labor to be able to get what's actually what we're planning or what we're aiming at for a particular research work. So in the field of research, again, I have to contextualize it. So the field of research will provide us opportunities. If we have to just embrace this new technology, embracing is a hard thing to do when there's so much attached with the past or with the usual. And sometimes we are so much engrossed already we would want to be able to provide new perspective to students learning English language and literature in our classes. Why? Because sometimes if we just would want to be doing the same thing all over again from year one until you finish, then that's not something that would be monetizing to our students. It still goes, it still goes to the problem. Sometimes they consider literature a hard subject because you just read and read and read and read and analyze and analyze. But again, the beauty of that is simply on how do we try to come into a point where there is an opportunity to give out what's within the field of literature in their context and in some other contexts. That's why there is globalization. Okay, that's why there is globalization. Next to that is balance traditional and emerging approaches. Balancing traditional. That's also an address to what we have faced as a challenge. We need to balance. Now, in balancing these particular technologies, there is, of course, great success. There is great success that we can find in all occasions when we do balancing with these new technologies or with the emerging approaches. What are these emerging approaches? technologies at hand, right? Technologies at hand. So in some sort, we would want to cultivate ourselves to come up with many opportunities to see whether or not we are still relevant in this time of, in this during this time. Okay. Next to that, of course, are my references. So I have been looking into some other references that will be provided all to you. So what I actually have shared is just a bit of the many things that we can probably look into when we have these new and emerging pieces in English language and literature. You may read a lot of literatures, a lot of resources or sources that you can find, but again, those are just but many of the few emerging pieces in English language and literature. So I hope I have given you some sort of direction as to how do we try to deal with new business in English language and literature. I hope I was able to clear out something that you are trying to visualize today as this conference is leading to. And I hope that we can actually try to pacify everything with the kind of challenges and our way of addressing these challenges as regards English language and literature. I hope everything has been clear and I have made justice coming over today. I hope I have given you something that you have to bring about after this conference. And I hope that everything is doing well, everybody is doing well with everything that I have shared this morning. I hope this conference will be very much successful. I know it has been attended by a lot of participants from different countries. And this would be a very good sign that we are trying to give out messages to a lot of people that we are supposed to be relevant in the world by becoming more by embracing more what's within the moment. So with that, it's a pleasure that I have been seeing you and talking with you today. I hope I have made your day today. Thank you very much and have a good day, everyone.